What's up, bro carts? What's up, ho carts? No disrespect to women or Winston or anybody. This video is very painful to make. It was very painful to do the calculations and find out how much money has gone into the Miata so far. But I want to make this video for myself, like just to have this cataloged. I also hope to help out anyone interested in building their own car. Just like, I know a lot of people aren't going to go as crazy and as ridiculous as I've gone with my Miata, but just so you have a general ballpark on what it costs to get your car to a certain place. So the overall cost that has gone into the Miata is $20,269. $20,000 on a 1996 car. That is including the cost of purchase, but $20,000 over the span of a little over 2 years. Oh my God. Okay, so when I first found out that this was the number, it was pretty painful, especially because the Miata isn't complete. Like it's still like a couple thousand away from being complete, sadly, and a lot of work still. But I do want to say, yesterday I drove the Miata to get smogged. I got it re-registered, which was another $174, as well as $90 for smog. So just add that on to the overall cost. However, when I did drive it to get smogged, it did feel like a $20,000 car. Okay, so my Subaru STI 2018 has an MSRP of, this is the MSRP, which is way more than the Miata. When I drove the Miata yesterday, I will say that it drove just as well, if not better, than a manufactured $36,000 to $40,000 car. After driving the Miata for a significant amount of distance, with just everything that I've done to it so far, it really did make my Subaru STI feel like a boat. So it definitely is significantly improved from where it was stock. And I'm not just saying that to justify that $20,000 has gone into this car. Okay, so this is the part that I know a lot of you guys aren't gonna watch through, but I'm gonna go through every single itemized thing for this Miata and how much it cost. And you guys can just follow along and yeah, see how easy it is to spend $20,000 on a car. And then I know a lot of you guys are gonna ask, but I've been able to afford this through my job that pays well, and just not spending a lot of money on like other things, like kind of just focusing my funds on this car, which kind of sucks because like I've kind of not really bought a lot of clothing. I've not really purchased anything else. I've basically put all my money into this and food and whatever else, gas. Basically, I wouldn't recommend putting any money into a project car like this unless it's like your actual passion and like you have a really strong vision that you want to get done. Because that's what happened with my case. And here I am, $20,000 in the hole. Because it is a money pit. Like, you're not going to get most of the money back that you put into a car. Like, the value you're going to get is driving it and owning it and whatever, sharing it with people. So just keep that in mind. So first thing was the overall purchase of the car, $4,700. And then you tack on a couple of registration fees and it comes up to like $4,900. And then you got to get gas. So let's call it around $5,000 for the overall total of the car. $5,000, that's the starting point. This also isn't perfectly chronologically ordered, but it doesn't really matter because the car isn't even finished now, so whatever. The first thing my brother and I purchased, because we needed it, I scoured the internet for like a week, was the hardtop. I was very lucky to get it for $800. It had a stripped bolt. Maybe it was stolen. That's kind of sad. I hope it wasn't stolen. One of the bolts was stripped and I had to actually drill out the bolt and re-tap it, but now it's like a perfectly good hardtop. It needs paint, but I bought it knowing that I was gonna have to paint it. Okay, this is very stupid of me, but when I first got the car, the tires had a flat spot, so I needed to get like new tires just to be able to drive the thing. New tires were $600. They're Hankook, Ventus, something like that. I've probably put like 100 miles, 120 miles on those tires, and then now they're just sitting in my garage. It's also very smart to go into a car build with a plan. Also, all of these purchases were based off the receipts when I purchased them because I have all the receipts like on my phone or in paper. And what I did is I rounded up to the next dollar, but if it was like a $98 purchase, I just rounded up to 100. So that's kind of what I'm basing it off. Next were Megan Racing coilovers, which cost me $910, but that's a huge like improvement for the car. Like, coilovers really changed. They're super worth it. It's like one of the best things you can buy for a car. Then 15x9 wheels, $800 off Fitment Industries. I wrapped those in Nitto NT01 tires, which were another $800, which is funny because like the wheel costs as much as the tire. And then we go a little crazier and start the whole wide body process. I really got into it not knowing anything that I was doing, but I just had a vision, I had a goal, I had a dream. And I got these afterburner wide rear over fenders basically. Those are $200, which seems like a ripoff now. I also got Wisdom side skirts, which were $190. And mind you, you need to buy a lot more stuff to like install these side skirts properly. So keep in mind, if you're buying any like wide body stuff like over fenders or side skirts or flares, you're gonna have to pay for a lot more supplies, and it's gonna be a lot of work to get them on your car. Was it worth it in my case? I'd say so, but I wouldn't recommend it. Then I got some carbon Miata front fender flares, and the thing is you have to buy the entire kit, so I got the front and the rear that I wasn't gonna use. That cost $290. That was with shipping. Moved over to the Afterburner front bumper, which was $220. Wisdom rear bumper, $160. So I did the math, and the amount of like body filler and what all the different types that you need and adhesive to get the body panels onto the car cost me about $350, like all said and done. The other little things I needed, like fiberglass and like certain primers and paints, was another $200. It might even be more than that. I kind of just went off like my last couple purchases of all that stuff. And then we go into the interior a little bit. I got those $800 reclining bucket seats, the joying head unit, which is the really nice infotainment system, which was $540. I'm so stupid for paying for that. The final headlights that I have on it are $120. I have smoked side markers from ILM. Those are $95. The hardtop spoiler, which is a little like plastic piece, got off eBay, $55. Tail lights from Carbon Miata were $390. Oh my God. All the material that I put on the interior, the Alcantara, which I still need to finish, was $985. So almost $1,000, plus like the spray adhesive and stuff that you need to use to get it onto all the like interior pieces. So it was like about $1,000 for like the Alcantara interior, which is so stupid because like you can option that on like a new car and it's about the same price, maybe a little bit lower. Here I am wrapping a 96 car in Alcantara. It looks good though. I'm really happy with how it turned out. We also have the Spinny Whoosh rev limiter gauge faces, which cost $260. Super worth it though. All the LEDs for the entire car were $65. The roll bar and door bars were $1,470. Also had to buy a new AC faceplate because mine was brittle and just cracked. It literally disintegrated in my hands. That was $15. The Momo Alcantara shift knob that I got was $120. The Momo steering wheel was $270. I have a little fast charger in the center console. That cost me $16. The entire locking system for central locking, like a keyless entry where you can just like unlock and open the door, was $32. That's also very, very worth it. Very good value because like it makes the car so much nicer to be able just to like lock it and unlock it without having to put the key in the door. The little dash cam mirror I have, which is very smart to have in my opinion on a project car like this because you want to document if anything happens to it, knock on wood. That was $100. I actually got new keys for the Miata as well because the stock key was pretty junky. So I got two brand new ones. That was $60 from the dealership. $200 on some front fenders. I don't know the exact body kit name, but I installed them and didn't keep them on just because they required so much body work. It wasn't going to be worth it to have them on the car. Then Carbon Miata spoiler, $220. MagnaFlow exhaust. I actually got a deal. Shout out to MagnaFlow, $475 for that. I also replaced the entire carpet on the interior with like a really nice quality, like sound deadened, like stiff plush carpet. That was $600. Stuff like that, it's easy to spend a little bit more though, because you're gonna be touching it every day, you're gonna be cleaning it, you're gonna be seeing it every day, you're gonna be sitting in the car surrounded by this carpet. It's worth it to get nice stuff. Floor mats were actually a gift from my sister for Christmas, so shout out to her. Floor mats were $90. So I guess we can cut that out of the $20,000 price. Also have an NRG quick release hub for $280. I think he wants to be in the video. I also have some IL Motorsport pedals that make the car look a lot nicer. They look like race car pedals and they have a lot more grip than the stock pedals, so very worth it. Kind of needed those, $100. Got the IL Motorsport side sills, which are very nice, very worth it, but those were $170. The illuminated start button was $35. The new badges were $30 and $27 for the front Eternal Flame and the rear Roadster badge. Moss Miata shifter rebuild was $130. The IL Motorsport top door seals were $175. Small Fortune Auto sway bar was $800. I did a little bit of calculation for the expendables, registration, like the flocking powder, paint, bolts, the tools, the fender roller I bought, the fuel, all of that. The price I got was about $1,300. And that's probably even less than what I've actually put into all those little expendable things. But those Home Depot trips to like stock up on tools and like cutting bits and all that, it really add up a lot. I also had a really stupid, wasteful test run where I wrapped the interior with this like blue fake ultra suede stuff, and it looked really cool. It felt pretty nice, but the quality was just really bad. Like the quality was so bad that in the span of like 6 months, a lot of it started peeling up and a lot of it started tearing. And I didn't do the best job at installing it either because I had no idea what I was doing, but it was a good test run that cost me $200. I also got new headlight covers because one of mine wasn't secured right and flew off as I was driving. Got run over by a car. I ended up parking, picking it back up, and straightening it out a little bit. It looked really bad on the car, so I had to get a new pair, and those are $110. Also, before I decided to go with an aftermarket front bumper, I decided to buy a front lip for my stock front bumper. That was $62. That's $62 that I'm not getting any use out of, so I'm also gonna be selling that. I also have this Tourist Trophy fuel door. It's like chrome. It has a really cool like race car look to it. It just makes I just love how it looks. That was $165. And then hard top brackets to like make sure no one steals the hard top, but those are $110. And since I made that list about 2 weeks ago, I've paid for the registration, I've paid for the smog. It's very painful when you know you've hit a certain number on your car, and it's just going up from there. Realistically, I think it's gonna be another 7 grand, 8 grand into the car before it's done, which I don't even want to think about right now. I'm kind of so over cars right now that I'm ready to just like not think about them for a while. The upside to all of this is that I know when the Miata is done, it's gonna feel like such a beautiful, luxury, amazing, one-of-one car. It's gonna be a perfect mixture of visceral and comfortable, and I'll have it for the rest of my life. So that's what's keeping me going with this whole thing. That's the overall breakdown of the Miata so far. 2 years and a couple months in. Yep, 20 grand into the car. Gone forever. That's gonna be it for this video though. I really appreciate everyone who's been watching this build from the beginning. It's getting very close to being done, so once it's done I can just not put any more money into it, not even think about it. It'll be beautiful to have the completed car, but don't forget to leave a like or I'm going to sell him and buy Miata parts with the money that I get from him.